I'm Dan Patterson. I'm a planner in Dakota County, Minnesota. A lot of my work is on what we call active living, which translates into a lot of trail-based stuff. We're basically trying to get people to move more, to burn more calories and be less sedentary, and kind of work it into their everyday life so they don't have to think, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and work out for 2 hours, which doesn't happen. They might do it in January, but then they'll give up on it and they'll just, they're not going to be healthy.
So we're approaching the Mississippi River Regional Trail, which is part of the Mississippi River Trail, which runs from Lake Itasca to the Gulf of Mexico, pretty much following the river. We have 27 miles of it in Dakota County. We'll have our portion of it complete in 2014. Yeah, it connects a bunch of parks, a bunch of cities, downtowns with their businesses. It connects down to the river in a few places. There's a river pier in Inver Grove Heights. It's a great spot to get out on the river and do some fishing. Goes to downtown Hastings. Eventually it'll go down to Red Wing and just all the river towns, Winona. And then of course up to St. Paul, Minneapolis, up to Bemidji. Yeah, but it's really great for local connections too. Kids just getting to school or someone going to the store. This one's a little bit more rural than some of the other regional trails that we have. So it's more recreation focused than utilitarian, but it makes for a fun ride. It used to be that trails were pretty controversial. People would, they weren't familiar with them, and they'd be afraid that people were going to come by on their bike and steal their TV. But with this segment, we had a little bit of that trouble where people were concerned about it for a variety of reasons. And eventually we came to an alignment that worked pretty well, and now some of the people who were really opposed to the trail have embraced it. We see them out and about on the trails. One of them put up some art in their yard that's, it's not near the road, it's facing the trail, so it's for the trail users. And yeah, they're really becoming more and more popular, and not just, the chain of lakes, but just through any community. You see developers who are advertising trails left and right. What we've done with the greenways, it's definitely recreation first, but we try to do it in a way that also will provide transportation. But in a lot of ways, if you make something that's nice for recreation, it's also going to work pretty well for transportation. Like, for example, underpasses beneath highways. It makes it safe and easy for a 10-year-old to get across the highway, but it also makes it quick and easy for the 20-mile-an-hour bicyclist just to get right through the intersection without conflicting with cars. But we also, while we make it the experience recreational, we also try to connect the different activity centers. So like downtown Rosemount, community colleges, shopping districts, parks, as I mentioned, and highways, because bicyclists sometimes have to use highways to connect, and to the bridges. That's a big deal. In terms of return on investment in the trails, we know that it increases property value within some range of the trails. It's usually, in a more urban area, it's just a couple of blocks, but in an area more like this, it could be, half a mile or a mile. And that, increase in property values, increase in tax revenues for the county. And there are a lot of ways that the county might not see the benefit of the investment, but the residents do. If they are commuting by bicycle, that's a much lower cost to them in terms of fuel. It increases or improves their health, which just decreases their health care costs to both them and society, and it increases their well-being.